The U.S. Supreme Court blocks the president's vaccine mandate for big companies. That's our big story tonight at 11 o'clock. Welcome to Facebook Live on this Thursday night as we march toward the weekend. It's great to be with you. I'm Scott. We'll get with Angela. Look, are we going to get any snow this weekend? We'll get those answers from Angela coming up in just a moment. Also tonight, we're going to be talking about the Colts. The general manager, Chris Ballard, holding his season-ending news conference today at Win an Hour. Very interesting, very candid. Dave Calabro will be joining us. He'll break down some of the highlights. We'll talk about Carson Wentz. Want to know your feelings on what the Colts ought to do here in the offseason. And how do you feel about scented candles that smell like soup? Campbell's has got a line out, and they're like $20. We'll talk about that all coming up. Let us know where you're watching Facebook Live so we can give you a shout out over the next 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so. So let's go ahead and get started tonight with Angela.
20 minutes?
20 minutes. I know I said
candles?
that and I'm like, wait a minute. We've got this newscast at 11. I can't go 20 minutes on Facebook. All right, let's talk about the question that everybody wants to know. We getting snow here in central Indiana or not?
If you believe the latest data, no. No, and it's such an interesting storm too, because oftentimes we see these storms, you know, develop and then move right along the Ohio River, putting us kind of in the good spot for snow. This one is doing like I think Sean called it a horseshoe or a U,
but a horseshoe.
So it looks like it's going to do this and completely miss us.
What is the story? I mean, is there some weird weather pattern or something? I mean, it's...
It is interesting. Now, I will tell you, if you follow the National Weather Service out of Indianapolis on Twitter, they typically, you know, responsible meteorologists don't throw out just snow maps with no context or anything, because things can change, especially several days out. But the area that isn't going to get snow looked like a Batman. Like the Batman, whatever. I don't have it because it's on Twitter. But if you're interested, it's on Twitter, National Weather Service. But it's like,
hey, we're going to go 20 minutes tonight, so we've got time to talk about all that.
Yeah, time to find the Twitter from National Weather Service. But so we've got warnings. Those are highlighted in pink. Winter weather advisories, winter storm watches, and most likely we will see these extend perhaps south through St. Louis and then to include parts of Kentucky and Tennessee as we go through the next 24 hours or so. The storm system just starting to take shape now in the far western sections of Minnesota. Snowfall potential. So if you look at the snowfall potential, here comes this big winter storm with a lot of snow from parts of Minnesota into Iowa, northeastern Missouri, and then it completely misses central Indiana. Places like Nashville, south of Lexington, into parts of the mountainous areas of the Carolinas. They're going to be dealing with a lot of snow, a foot or more in some places, but the latest track completely misses central Indiana, which is kind of crazy. So tomorrow, no snow, cloudy skies, not as warm as the last couple of days. Will be in the upper 30s. But here comes wave one. It looks promising, but you have to remember the leading edge is really the light edge. So if we have any dry air in place, that will eat up the initial burst of snow. Do I think we get maybe a ½ inch to an inch in areas southwest of Indianapolis? There's that possibility, but the heavy snow looks to miss us completely as the track goes south.
We haven't had much snow this winter, have we?
No, ½ of an inch, Scott, and we're more than 10½ inches below average.
Wow.
I know.
My snowblower's just, you know, collecting dust in the garage, waiting to get going. But.
I'm sure we've got lots of things collecting dust in the garage. Shovels, snow blowers, sleds.
Yeah. Oh, I know kids want to get out there and sled.
I know.
Not going to happen this weekend, at least not here.
Unless there would be a dramatic change to the track, it looks like we're going to miss out on this one.
All right, so road trip to Lexington if you want snow.
Or Nashville.
Or Nashville.
Oh, can you imagine Nashville?
No.
What is it, Broadway with all the honky tonks and all of the people and with a lot of snow.
That's right. Our Facebook friends, hundreds of them joining us tonight. Renee saying, no snow, please.
Okay.
Let's see. Indy here by Teresa. Good to have you with us, Teresa, tonight. Joyce from Versailles is back. Jacqueline already talking about the scented candles, saying no soup, scented candles for her. Let's see. Brian saying no snow in Indy. New York will be buried.
That's a tricky one too, though,
Yeah.
because a coastal storm can bring in more moisture,
Right.
but it has to be the right track. They have to be cold enough, and just like us, it has to be the right track for New York to get a bunch of snow. So we'll see.
Okay. Jacqueline from Metamora tonight. Brian wants to know about your Batman again.
Okay, so what is the Batman signature?
Right.
You know, Roscoe, help me out here.
Yeah, well, it's the bat signal, right?
So, okay,
That's
so
what
all you have to do is go to Twitter
Yeah.
and look up the National Weather Service. And again, they say responsibly we don't usually put out snow maps, but it looks like the Batman symbol.
Signal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely missing central Indiana with all the heavy snow, and then the part that doesn't get it looks like Batman.
Okay, Brian, very good. And Jan,
I'll see if I can bring it up.
Jan joining us tonight. Let's see, Anastasia back with us tonight. Christy saying, how you guys doing this evening? We're doing good, aren't we? All right, very good. All right, we'll get back with Angela coming up in a moment. Want to turn our attention, let you know what we're working on tonight for our big story at 11 o'clock. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court went ahead and weighed in on the president's federal vaccine mandate. And basically what they said is you can't do it for the large companies, can't have a vaccine mandate for large companies, companies over 100 employees, but you can have a vaccine mandate for healthcare workers. Emily Longnecker is going to take a look at what this means for Indiana hospitals. All that coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. All right, let's turn our attention to the Colts tonight because we were watching this Chris Ballard news conference that took place today. As you know, Chris Ballard is the general manager of the Colts. The Colts, of course, had this kind of up and down season and ended on just a thud. And today our Dave Calabro brings us highlights of what was a very interesting season-ending news conference.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts will be watching the playoffs from home just like the rest of us. That will be very painful given what happened the past couple of weeks with this franchise. General Manager Chris Ballard met with the media today for over an hour. Let's just say he didn't hold back about what happened.
I'm not going to overreact to to the end of the season acting, ending the way it did. And I'm pissed. I can't sleep at night thinking about it. I mean, we embarrassed ourselves, embarrassed our owner, embarrassed our city. When you put a performance like that out there, and it happens.
And since that loss in Jacksonville, fans have been red hot about the play of Carson Wentz. He had those two big turnovers on Sunday that really cost Indianapolis in the second half. Wentz struggled the last couple of weeks. So the big question is he going to be back next year?
And after Phillip retired and we made the decision to make a move on Carson, at the time of the decision, we felt good about it. And I still don't regret the decision at the time. I'm not going to, just sitting here today, just so y'all know, I won't make a comment on who's going to be here next year and who's not going to be here next year. That's not fair. That's not fair to any player. I thought Carson did some good things, and there's a lot of things that he needs to do better. Our passing game has to be better.
So clearly the Indianapolis Colts not giving Carson Wentz a vote of confidence. It'll be interesting to see what happens here in the offseason. The Colts 2-5 in games that were decided by one score or less. That falls on the quarterback. I'm Dave Calabro. Much more coming up at 6 o'clock about a private meeting between Carson Wentz and the general manager.
All right, thank you, Dave, so much. So again, Facebook friends, let us know what you think about today's news conference. What do you think the Colts ought to do here in the offseason? Do you think it's time for Carson Wentz to go? Should the Colts start shopping around for another quarterback? Should we give him another year? What do you think about the head coach? Does Frank Wright belong another year? Do you think Chris Ballard ought to go? Do you think he ought to stay? What do you think? Is there a free agent that you'd like to see come in? Give us some feedback, and we'll go ahead and read some of your comments. So, Angela, I think it was interesting watching Chris Ballard. He was clearly frustrated with the way the season ended today. Did not hold back. He was very candid.
Yes, and that long pause where
Yeah.
he just, he's trying, I think, probably not to say a bad word.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think there were a couple bad words during that news conference.
There were a few of those. I think clearly what we saw from the general manager was, a man who he's in charge. He's the architect, right, of this team. And, this is his team. And obviously you lose, that heartbreaking loss in Jacksonville. Yeah. But, of course, losing to the Raiders here at home.
We had two chances.
You had the 98% chance of making the playoffs. And instead, we're all sitting here going, hey, We got to watch other football this weekend, not
Right.
our Colts.
What happened? And we have to watch Cincinnati. I mean, nothing
Yeah,
against
yeah,
nothing
right.
against Cincinnati.
Well,
but
you know who'll be watching the Bengals?
Sean
Ash.
Yes.
That's right.
And I think we've got a couple Bengals fans in the building. But
we
yeah,
do.
thinking about, I think it's 28 million versus to keep him.
Right.
And if you keep him, then you better get some wide receivers.
You do need wide receivers because you don't know what's going to happen with T.Y. Hilton.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen with tight end Jack Doyle. There's rumors that both of these players may decide to retire. So we'll see. What are we seeing here? Let's see. Dan saying Frank and Carson should go on down the road. Let's see. We've got Teresa saying, I say yes to keeping Reich and Ballard. And Brian wondering, can Andrew Luck come out of retirement?
No, I don't think
I
that's
don't think that's going to happen. He
Nope.
said at the national championship game he's happy being on daddy duty.
Dad, that's really, really sweet. And honestly, that's what it's all about.
That's right.
You
All
know,
right.
no one remembers what you did for a living once you're all gone.
Exactly.
So,
That's true. All right, let's talk scented candles. Do you like scented candles, Angela?
I do. I have a couple of favorites.
What is your favorite scent?
I like cinnamon. I love
me
the
too.
candles around the holiday.
Yeah.
That kind of have the Christmas tree cinnamony smell.
Yep. Pumpkin?
I like pumpkin
Do you?
spice.
Okay.
Yes.
I think Sean would probably say no on the pumpkin, right?
He
He's
would say
kind of
no on the
anti-pumpkin, right?
He is anti-pumpkin everything. But I've got a few, and I try to, based on the time of year, do a little different scent, a
Yeah.
little lighter in the summertime,
Right.
and then a little heavier in the winter.
All right, Facebook friends, what kind of scents do you like on your scented candles? All right, the reason we bring all this up, of course, is that Campbell's announced today that they are going to do scented soup candles. Let's go ahead and put that up for you so you can take a look. They're very cute. One of them, as you see there, is tomato soup and grilled cheese scented candle. And the other one that you see there is chicken noodle soup candle. And just like the popular soup, you go ahead and peel back the top. And that's where you get the wick, but these are $24. It's got a neat initiative in terms of feeding people who are hungry across the country. So I think that is kind of a neat thing. And I think the labels are cute, but I'm not going to be. Look, I like soup.
Yeah.
I really like tomato soup, but I'm not burning a candle. Not burning a candle that's going to smell like tomato soup.
No, and I like the way my kitchen smells sometimes when I'm cooking.
Right.
Lemon chicken or
there you go.
mini meatloaves or whatever. It does smell good, but I don't think I would want it to smell that way all the time.
Yeah. So Facebook friends, what did you think of that whole scented candles that smell like soup? Terry says nope.
Nope.
Joyce says big no on the soup. We've got Teresa saying tomato soup candle, and she's got one of those green faces.
Oh, yes, like
Yeah,
you're throwing up.
Right.
I think that's what that face means.
And we've got another Teresa saying no soup candles, love vanilla. I love vanilla.
Oh, vanilla's
as well.
a good
That's
one.
another good one. So, all right. So back to the weather. Again, if people are just tuning into Facebook Live here, they missed maybe you off the top. What are we saying about snow over the weekend?
We are saying it does not look good over the weekend.
Thumbs down.
It's interesting to see the snowfall potential map.
Yeah.
And this is just one. And we look at a handful, sometimes as many as 2 handfuls of computer models to kind of fine tune what we're expecting. So this is just one, but it's pretty indicative of what we think is going to happen. Heavy snow out west with wave 1, wave 2 of this winter storm impacting places like Nashville, not used to getting a lot of snow, Lexington, southern Kentucky, and then some of the higher elevations of the Appalachians. So yes, we've got some snow, but it does appear it's going to miss us. Maybe a ½ inch to an inch with wave 1 tomorrow night into early Saturday. But at this point, that looks to be our best chance. And at the top, I mentioned the National Weather Service, and they had
Batman.
Yeah, they had one map that looked like the Batman. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
Come close.
I am coming close.
See it?
Yeah, I do. Oh, that's neat. Okay,
Isn't that
so if
crazy?
people want to go ahead and find that, they just need to go to the
It's NWS Indianapolis on Twitter.
National Weather
And,
Service on Twitter.
You know, it's funny. So you guys came really close. Jeez, take me out of it.
And I know. I've got to come real close to take
you
a
see
peek
it?
there. Yeah, nice going. All right.
Yeah.
Very
Isn't that
good.
funny? It's pretty funny. So yeah, and they put not an actual snow forecast because they don't put singular models. They, again, look at everything and put out their own forecast, but they just thought it was funny. It looked like the bat symbol.
All right, very good. Well, you're going to get more of those stories coming up tonight with Angela as we look at the 7-day forecast. She'll get you all set for the weekend. We'll take a look at those snow forecasts, and we've got the big story, of course, that we've already discussed, and perhaps some scented soup candles all coming your way tonight on 13 News at 11. Good night. Thanks for joining us.